What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. I am coming to you from our Auburndale, Florida little terminal we got out here, drop yard, whatever you want to call it. Prime is all about transparency, and I do believe that they are for the most part. I've never felt like I've been censored or they don't talk about things that are issues with Prime, but I'm not going to be talking about Prime in this particular video. And I've thought about this a bit because I didn't want my feelings to be influenced by other factors, like the fact that I've been out almost over 3 months, or right approaching 3 months, something like that. I didn't want it to be because it's been 3 days since I got a shower. Last night was my fault. I was supposed to get up late at night and go take a shower and blew that. Didn't want it to be because I just got a load on my way to come to this drop yard and drove 25 miles in the wrong direction. I didn't want it to be because of that. I wanted it to be because I am truly as frustrated about this situation as I was. And you know what? I am. There are vendors, companies, whatever you want to call them, that are associated with the trucking industry that I believe are able to do what they're doing because they just have no competition. One of those people could be Qualcomm. That technology that they have in this Qualcomm literally is shit that any other company outside of trucking, or at least if they're using the systems we use, it's just outdated, it's slow, it's everything. There's no redeeming qualities about this. But we're not even talking about that. We are talking about Comdata. How many days or how many times do I need to hear Comdata's down for maintenance? If you need to get some fuel, get that shit before before they go down. Or we won't be able to do Comdata checks, or we won't be able to do this, or we won't be able to do that. How many companies go down for services much? I mean, they are constantly down, doing something. And normally it doesn't bother me, but, here I am. It's the day after Thanksgiving, and I'm getting unloaded at a McLean's. You know what? Nice, easy unload. Lumpers were great, Well, they weren't great at first. Let's get to that. So, I'm getting unloaded. I don't hear or feel the truck getting unloaded anymore. So I'm like, you know what? I think they're done. But I'm just chilling, right? Then I get a knock at my door. Hey, man, do you plan on paying that lumper bill? I was like, what are you talking about? You guys haven't called me. And they're like, we sent you a link. So I'm looking at my phone. I ain't got no link. Show it to him. Oh. All right, well, let me send it again. Still ain't got the link. All right, well, you know what? You want me to just do a check? Yeah, do a check. Come in there. Check's not working. I register the check, do all that stuff. Check's not working. And it's not just as easy to say it's not working. I mean, this is taking I tried like 3 times. He tried doing it on his system the way he would normally do it before on his tablet. Doesn't work, keeps declining it. So in the meantime, I'm like trying to call Comdata, or after all this, and this has probably been about 30 minutes before I get into this. Now, it's the day after Thanksgiving. These guys are on a light schedule. These guys are doing a short day, so they're trying to get out of here. So I call the 800 number for Comdata. Nobody's answering. There's no prompt that you can do. And you know what? The reply, oh, if you're having fucking problems, you know what? Try to call back with the right information. You know what? Fuck it. I got the right information. But you know what? There is no way to get through to a person. And then I remember, hey, you know what? Forget it. A light of hope. I remembered listening to somebody from Comdata, and they said Prime has their own phone number. You know what? Screw everybody. Let me call this number. If nobody else can get through, I ain't gonna worry about it. As long as I can, use the Prime one. Phone's ringing, ringing, ringing. I think it rang for 17 minutes before somebody answered the phone. Then, when somebody answered the phone, they were acting like I was inconveniencing them. You know what I'm saying? Still not worried about it, or still not upset at that point. Well, I'm upset with Comdata, but I'm not upset with this person. Then he tells me that there's nothing wrong with the check and we need to register the check correctly. Now, this guy that is going through the same pain with me, that's trying to get home for the day, he works for Capstone. I would imagine he's taken fucking checks before, right? He's done it over the system before. So it's not a matter of us not doing it correctly. So I'm thinking, well, okay, so then the guy comes back and says, well, we have the check registered. It's the check number you gave us. It's a good check. Why don't you, you know, if they are having problems where you're at registering a check, why don't you have them just take the check and then, you know, we'll honor it or whatever the situation is. You know what? Forgot to mention this. There was a period of time before all this where he actually tried to call another Capstone office and have them do the check, and they couldn't do it either. So it wasn't just a McLean that was having problems with this Capstone stuff. So really, all that I got out of the people at Comdata was, it's a good check, it's registered. So eventually we ended up getting this thing handled, and it was about, I'd have to take a look at my phone. If I say if it was an hour and 15 minutes, that would be on the low end. It was minimum hour and 15 minutes. Now, I've dealt with, listen, I'm 53 years old. One of the things I think that some of these companies try to do is try to have technology take over a little bit too, you know, too much to a degree where they have zero customer service. I mean, you know what? At least I was able to get through with this magical Prime number. What about the people that don't have that magical number? But anyway, that's beside the point. Who gives a fuck what other people are doing? Let's just talk about my experience. This was like, I've had situations where I've had to call up when, I mean, some serious banking transactions and stuff like that, where things, you know, where I might have been upset calling in and things got handled. I mean, there have been plenty of situations. This is not my first time being upset in a situation, and I've always said this. It wasn't a matter of them, well, first thing, the first number not having any customer service whatsoever. But then when I did get somebody, sometimes it is not a matter of somebody rectifying a problem. Sometimes it is somebody empathizing with the problem that you're going through. And I felt none of that shit. I just felt like, oh, I should have recorded that goddamn call. I should have recorded. But you know what? I ain't trying to get nobody in trouble. I'm not trying to do anything like that. I'm just trying to say that this is just coming to a head right now. I've been a little upset with this Comdata situation for a while. Whether it's like, Comdata's down, you can't get fuel until such and such a time. And you know what? I really don't care. What's the difference in, 10 cents of fuel if I have to pass that fuel stop or get fuel the next day or whatever the situation is? It just brings me back to the same old thing, that we have all these companies affiliated with the trucking industry that I think are, well, the trucking industry does enough to hold itself back as it is. And Prime is on the forefront of technology and all that kind of stuff, and I hear all these people worried about automated trucks and all that kind of shit. I definitely do not if automation in trucking comes, it's not going to be because of the trucking industry. It's going to be because somebody like Amazon builds up an infrastructure that's able to handle it on its own, where they have terminals where these self-driving trucks drive into, or whatever it is. Is not going to be because the trucking industry is trying to move forward. This backward ass Comdata bullshit that I just went through, had it been any other company with any kind of competition or anything like that, they would have been out of business. Can you imagine, like, calling Discover, or I'm gonna throw in an old school one, people, you young bucks don't remember it, I don't even know if they're around. Could you imagine calling Diners Club and getting that kind of customer service, and then you just wouldn't get it? So I don't know what to say. Like I said, I'm going back to the, we're down for maintenance. How much fucking maintenance can you do? I mean, really? What needs to happen is some of these companies need to get some competition coming in. There needs to be some competition for Qualcomm or Omnitrax or whatever that is. There needs to be some competition for Comdata. There needs to be some competition just all around the trucking industry. This is one of the one of the most sedentary, like, non-moving forward industries that you could possibly name. I've done a video where I said there was a company in the mortgage industry that was just like Comdata and Qualcomm that sat around and just did their own thing, and you know what? Some young gunners came in and ran them over, and they're no longer in business. That's what we need in the trucking industry. Somebody come in here with some real infrastructure as far as, I don't know why Comdata needs to be down for maintenance every 48 fucking hours, or however often it is, or whatever, but that's not a small thing. Having Comdata down is not a small thing. It's as easy as, well, you could use your own credit card. You know what? I could use my own credit card. Some of these places ain't taking your own credit cards now. Or you can't pay with cash or something like that. So I'm sorry if I'm like going off on a little rant. I'm a little pissed off about this. This is just, like I said, this isn't because of all those factors. I'd have been this upset if I had just came off of home time. Anyway, sorry to be negative and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes, you gotta you gotta let that anger out, you know what I'm saying? And I feel a little bit better if I have somebody to vent to like y'all than to just come back here and cuss to myself. And I really don't want to put it on my wife. I called her earlier today. I didn't forget to call her. I was supposed to call her when I got my shower last night, but like I said, I've been a little unmotivated lately, so when my alarm went off, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to keep laying my ass down. So I missed calling her last night. Then I got in all this crap today, dealing with that when she called me, and now I think she called me, or I don't remember, but either way, I didn't want to throw it on her. So I appreciate you guys being here, allowing me to do this with you. Definitely need some competition in washouts. Anyway, I'm done. Thanks for stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. I appreciate it. Comment, subscribe. I'm out.